Good day. Welcome to the next episode of Guvs Hero Impression and Review video series featuring the Grand Heist hero, Night Owl. Now, Night Owl is the purple owl hero from the Savage Crew family. Being part of that Savage Crew family, Night Owl is a limited availability hero available only during the Grand Heist Challenge Event portal, which rolls around once every 4 or so months. So keep your eye out for that if you're interested in jagging Night Owl. Night Owl is a 5-star purple hero with the title of being a Slick Sharpshooter, and she has been in the game for quite a long time now. She is an OG release event hero, and came out with the Grand Heist Challenge Event way back in the beginning when it was added, like 3, 4, 5 years ago or something. Her artwork does feature the iconic animalistic mask of the Savage Crew family, which basically gives inspiration to their artwork, their name, and also their skill, as well as, coincidentally and usefully, hiding their identity from the cops. Now, Night Owl's mask is in the imitation of an owl, I guess. It's a little bit vague for me, but hey. And I really don't know about the sharpshooter aspect of her title based on her art there. She doesn't really seem geared out for sharpshooting, but, you know, maybe she's a Deadeye style thing where it doesn't matter what gun it is, headshot every time. Being a member of the Savage Crew family, I'm just going to quickly hop back over to the card in the portal, sorry. There it is. Being a member of the Savage Crew family, there is a 10% chance to trigger Wild Heist whenever she fires her special skill. Now, the Wild Heist effect will cause all allies to steal 20% charge from all enemies. Now, that is an absolutely amazing effect because not only does it do charge control, it also grants you that extra charge to your heroes. So if you've got those heroes that are just like one little fraction away from being able to fire their special skill, you never know. The Savage Crew Wild Heist might actually tip them over the edge and get them charged up as well. Now, Night Owl is also a part of that Savage Crew family is an inherent attack bonus or stat bonus, which comes from having multiple unique heroes from the Savage Crew family. So if you have 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique heroes in a team, you will be granted a 2, 4, 6, or 8% attack bonus to those heroes. Now, it does have to be unique, so it has to be bringing someone like Night Owl and Wolf along, or Night Owl and Pantera. If you bring 2 Night Owls along, they're not unique heroes, it's 2 copies of the same hero, so it doesn't actually cause it to register as that attack bonus. Speaking of stats, Night Owl does have fairly low overall spread of stats, being a victim of age and power creep. Being OG, all of the stats in this base power were quite low way back then, and the newer heroes do have quite a lot more base stats to their cards. So her stats themselves, they are pretty balanced. There's not really any skewing towards attack, defense, HP, or anything like that. So she comes in with 668 attack, 672 defense, and 1479 HP. Her charge speed is set to 65 fast, which is the same charge speed, coincidentally, as the charged attack tournament settings, and will require a total of 8 tiles to charge, or 4 ghosted tiles. You can speed break her down to 7 tiles with a +7 weapon. This can be achieved using the +9 Explosion DB90 weapon. You can also speed break her using a +5 weapon. So if you don't have a maxed out Explosion, you can speed break her if you also have the Spire class +4% speed emblem node at node 20. However, that's a lot of emblems and a long way down the tree. So realistically, the easiest way to speed break her is just to equip the Explosion weapon. Class-wise, as I mentioned, she is a spy hero, which does grant her the chance to scramble the charge of the enemy by 10%. Now, this is probably my favorite class perk, and it comes in clutch so often by just cutting just enough charge out of the enemy team to stop them from hurting me badly. So for me personally, I don't have any emblems on my Night Owl. That's more a function of I needed the spy emblems elsewhere than about how much I like Night Owl. I do love using Night Owl. I do like her as a hero, and we'll get into all of that later. But if you are going to emblem her, I would personally recommend going the attack route. I'd also probably stop at the plus 15 node, which is where the spy class stops going up. But if we look at that in terms of a pathing, I'd come this side on the right to grab attack, stay on the right to grab more attack, stay on the right to grab crit and attack. That's a fantastic combination. Here in the middle, doesn't really matter which one you pick, whether it's the defense or HP, it's much of a muchness. And then down here, this is the only instance where you have to actually choose between defense. Oh no, it is up here as well, sorry. But I would pick the defense stat again. But basically, if you choose defense or HP at the 5th node, just follow that same down for the 13th and also the 16th, the 11th and 13th nodes as well. Go that same route. So for me, I'd went the defense and the attack and defense route. I didn't worry too much about HP. All right, so that's the emblem path. Attack path is pretty much where I'd go with it. It doesn't really matter if you pick defense or HP as the secondary. Heading back to her card, I might as well just stay on the roster because it's the same thing anyway. Night Owl's card, her special skill is titled Claws of the Owl, and at level 10 special skill and 65 charge speed, it will deal 220% damage to the target and nearby enemies, making it an AoE area of effect, AoE 3 style attack. It will also deal an additional 70% damage against armor and will apply bleed to the target and nearby enemies, resulting in minus 270 HP over 3 turns. If the target already has this effect, such as coming from Wolf, Night Owl, or Roscoe, the duration is refreshed and the damage is increased by 30, up to a maximum of 375. So what that means is if they already have this bleed effect on them and you fire again, it'll go from 270 up to 300 HP over 3 turns, and it'll go from 300 to 330, 330 to 360. But if it does wear off, it resets back to that 270 number for the next cast. So breaking that down a little bit, purple is reasonably limited in AoE 3 heroes. There are 10 options. There's more now than there were probably 6 months ago. There's a couple that have come in. And Night Owl actually holds up very well amongst this field. So Night Owl has an attack power. Now, attack power is a metric I use to compare direct damage. It's the simple multiplication of the attack stat by the percentage listed in the special skill. So Night Owl has an attack power of 1,470. And if you divide that by the 8 tiles she needs to charge, that comes out as an attack power per tile of 184. For comparison, just some of the other 9 options, we've got Triptych, who is a brand new, very, very new 5-star purple zombie. He has an attack power per tile of 223. Xyloid, who is from the Mutant Mayhem, has 214. Wade from the Summer Event has 196. Hypernova, who I'm sure you're all familiar with, has an attack power of 155. Senka, who's from the Halloween event, has 138. And Wilma, who is actually probably the worst option available, she comes in at 107. So overall, in that pack with Night Owl's 184 attack power, she actually comes in number 4 rank. And this is one of the oldest heroes in the game. If you factor in that additional bonus damage, that additional 70% against armor, she actually jumps up to the number 1 spot in terms of raw damage output for AoE 3 purple 5-star heroes. Now, we aren't factoring in random hitting heroes, snipers, AoE 5 heroes. That's just amongst the AoE 3 hitters. Now, that's still pretty damn good. Like, you know, number 4 or number 1 is pretty great. The other element to a special skill is the bleed. Now, like Wolf, the DOT ticks are quite small. The only thing that makes it a lot more palatable on Night Owl than on Wolf is the fact that Night Owl's speed is so much better, meaning you actually have a chance to keep it going and scale it up fairly easily. Because it's only 8 tiles, so 4 ghosted tiles, it is quite quick and easy to charge within the 3 turns that effect is applying for, to recharge it and then make it go from 270 up to 300 and so on and so forth. So it is small compared to some of the new DOT that's been added on recent heroes, such as the poison on Renegade's minion, but it can be quite easily manipulated, a lot easier to manipulate than on Wolf, for example. So overall, Night Owl has actually withstood the power creep of the game reasonably well to date. She still has a fairly solid damage output, and she does have a really good synergy with herself in terms of the special skills, bleed, and the speed of her card. Personally, I do have 2 copies of Night Owl leveled, you would have seen them before, and I still actually make fairly routine use of them. I do like to use both of them in the same team for a couple reasons, mostly though because of the Wild Heist effect, that charge stealing, but also because I can offset them from each other to keep that bleed stat going on a long period of time and also notch it up time and time again. So it is actually a very good duo of heroes, Night Owl and Night Owl, to use with each other. In terms of grading, I do like her for attack purposes, so overall I do rank her as a B for attack. For War Machines, probably a C, just because she doesn't have too much going for her on War Machines. Defense, down to a D. This isn't anything against Night Owl, it's just she's not as good on defense as some of the more recent heroes. Events, a C again, there's nothing too special. She is AoE 3, so some benefit there. For tournaments, she does bump up a little bit for bloody battle purposes just because of that bleed and the speed. So a B+ on attack, but still a D on defense. Charged attack, down a little bit because there's not actually any change in her speed at all. So a B- on attack for charged attack tournaments, and a D for defense. Buff booster, no real effect. B- attack, still a D for defense. So overall, I would probably say that this comes out as a rough grading of being a B-ish for attacking purposes and a D, a solid D for defense. So a very, very useful and versatile hero for attacking purposes, and great to synergize with herself or with another copy of herself. So that concludes the content for this review of Night Owl. As always, this is just my personal opinion. I do love hearing your thoughts and feedback and opinions on these heroes, so please do drop down into the comments of the video. Leave me a note, tell me what your thoughts are. I do love reading them. So if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, again, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on it, and most importantly, share it around, because if the content's useful to you, it's also probably going to be useful to your Alliance members and other people that you play with. So thanks once again for tuning in. I do appreciate it. So good luck with your gaming and have a great time with it. Cheers for joining, and bye-bye.